Now we're here at Venice Beach, and this is the start of our California to 2018. As you see, we have some very old VW vans here right behind me. But we're here with a brand new T6 California. This is the car we're going to have a 3-day trip here through the whole of California with. But first of all, we're going to talk to an icon who's living here, a real surf boy. So now, as promised, we're here at Venice Beach, and next to me, that's a real surf guy. That's Martin. Martin, you started a business here a couple of years ago. I think it's regarding to surfing.
Yeah.
How did it happen, and how did you start?
I started 12 years ago. I was living in an RV. Ended up buying this van, and I really don't even know. It was like, some kind of cosmic thing that happened that made me buy this van. I just fell in love with it. I don't know if you know Fast Times at Ridgemont High, but this is the paint scheme. So when I saw it, I had to get it. As soon as I got it, my business just took off because everyone came up to me and started talking to me about the van. Next thing you know, I started getting them to do lessons. Within 6 years, 6 years, I had 6 vans. I was buying a van every single year. I ended up buying a van, living in it for 3 years while I was growing the business.
That sounds amazing. Maybe have a closer look into the car that you lived in for a while.
Sounds good.
Okay, let's go over there. So Martin, this is your T1.
Yeah.
And you lived in that car. Only you or more?
Just myself. I lived in here for 3 years while I was building the business. And sometimes, during the winter, it was so cold in here, it's like a tin box. During the summer, it was the exact opposite. It's just a sweatshop. So it's I can't believe I suffered that long, but I suffered for the business. But also, it's I can't imagine doing it any other way. In retrospect, this was the best thing I ever did. I'm always going to look back on living in a VW van with fond memories, and it's I'm proud of where I've come from and where I am today.
Now we had a bit of a drive aside the ocean from LA down here, and we really enjoyed driving at the coast with our T6 California. And now we're a bit above the sea on a hill on a little farm, and before we can really enjoy that view, we have to build up our car and convert it into our home. So that was our first sleepover in our camper van. I really have to say I had a very nice night, quite warm and cozy. And now the sun comes up and you can see from here the clouds there above the sea, which really looks absolutely fantastic. And behind me you can see Santa Barbara is clearing, so you can see a bit of the city now. And I really have to say that was a very nice night, and I think there are more horrible places to wake up in the morning. Now we're here in Santa Barbara, next to the sea, and next to me is Joy. And Joy does have a little bit of a different home than we all know it in Germany. So Joy, we're here with a brand new T6 California.
Beautiful.
But your car
beautiful.
or let's say your home is a bit different. So what kind of a car is that?
Now, this is a 1959 Volkswagen. And the reason I have it is because my son was born in 1959. My husband and I, my first husband and I, traveled much of the world in a Volkswagen in a 1965 Westphalia with the louvered windows. Yeah. We were teaching in England, and then we shipped it down to Cape Town and had 7 months in South and East Africa, and then shipped from Mombasa to Bombay, India, and drove back to Europe. That was my earlier life in a 65 Volkswagen. So once you get used to this sort of life, who would want to pay rent and live in a house?
So that means you do live in that car. For how long?
We lived in a Volkswagen Bug that we took down to Cape Town and lived on the beach for 3 years. Then in 1983 we got this. And so I've been in this since 83.
Oh, that's quite a long time. Shall we have a closer look into the newer one?
Aha, please. Look at this.
We do have a kitchen, a proper kitchen in there.
Oh, it's just beautiful.
And you can lift off the roof as well, so you have another bed upstairs.
Oh, this is a pop top. Oh, isn't it perfect? Who needs more than this?
So can we say you're a big fan of Volkswagen?
Oh, are you kidding? Really, a huge fan.
In the past, the 101 was a track where people took horses to get from church to church, and this is what we're going to do today, just riding on a horse at the beach. The very nice thing with California is when you turn your head away from the sea, you're instantly going into the mountains, and you find places like this here. Very beautiful, but normally it should look even more beautiful because these Los Padres National Forest hit a very hard fire in the past, so everything is black here. It could be green, but still it's an absolutely lovely spot with a perfect view. So now we've finished our trip for today, and we arrived here on a hill in the middle of nowhere. Just beautiful bright skies, very nice view, and I have to say that was really a very nice trip. We met loads of really nice and very interested people interested in our T6 camper van. But now I'm looking forward to the barbecue because tonight we're gonna have meat.
Pretty impressed. I think I gotta say, I'm pretty impressed. I'm trying to figure out right now how to turn my buddy Peter
I'm
to
just
the
to
front.
direct from here. We
Yeah.
need to turn around. We're going the wrong way.
Yeah, we have 4 mattress, 2 people fit quite well. We have up top 2 people fit quite well. That equals 4 people. That equals a very great time. Yes.
Awesome. I wish we could sell it here. I think it'd do really well.
I think it's a really cool product. I think it makes a great camping accessory.
I need one.
One thing that really stands for California is the beach. And if you only have a closer look at the area of LA, you do have in the north from Malibu to the south, here where we are in Long Beach, more than 100 kilometers of coastline. Most of it is beach like this. And as you see, the people really like it. So next to me, this is my colleague Dean Malai. He's a motor journalist as I am. And I have a question, Dean. You had this kind of about 3 days. You drove through California with a California. Did you meet any special people? Did you have any special things you can share with us?
Yeah, I met a couple, you'd probably say old hippies, and they told me a story that they are related to the VW bus in general because they had one, probably the generation 1 or 2, and they used to make love in this car. So they have a special relation with the VW bus.
So as we see, the VW bus means love and peace. One of the most impressive things that happened to us were the people we met here in California with our California. Some of them told us their personal story about them and the Volkswagen camper van. Others told us they instantly fell in love with our car. And as they do, I instantly fell in love with, I think, the best burger you can buy in California. And this is the reason why we now make a short stop over here at In-N-Out Burger. This year, the California is on the market for 30 years, and still the people love their car since it came to the market 30 years ago. We had a wonderful time, and this here is now the end of our trip, California to California, at the Hollywood sign here in LA. We are now heading to the airport, and I have to say, we found so many people that really fell in love with that car as well as with its predecessors, and I think we could have sold about 100 cars easily over the last 3 days. So we had great fun, we had a good time in our California, and I'm looking forward to drive it the next time soon.